It's been some time since Komi Can't Communicate has ended, and yeah, this video was supposed to be released a couple of weeks ago, but let's get on with the review now. By the way, this video will have some spoilers, so only watch this once you finish the anime, but I won't stop you from continuing. And something to look forward to is the second season coming out in April, so that's cool. Anyways, on with the video. So what's this anime about? Komi Can't Communicate is a wholesome slice of life comedy anime about a girl who's loved by everyone but has extremely poor communication skills, and she attempts to make friends with the help of a few others. As for my first impression of the show, I found this first episode really boring. It was really slow, so I decided to drop this anime for a bit, but then I decided to give it another shot, and the next few episodes were actually a little bit funny, kind of good. And now that I finished with this anime, I say that the rest of the episodes, they were okay, they were a little bit funny, but eventually the jokes can get a bit of repetitive sometimes. The ending of this anime, it wasn't all that great, it was really average. Anyways, let's talk about the characters now. First, the main character of the show, Komi. She's unable to talk. What she can do is make weird, quiet mouse noises. However, there are a few rare times when she is actually able to talk, such as when she talks on the phone fine, but she's still a little nervous. And sometimes she tries really hard to say a few words, but struggles too much to get out what she wants to say. Overall, she's a very unrealistic character for someone who's incredibly socially awkward. Even the most antisocial people are able to speak a bit more, though it's nice to see that Komi and the other quiet people like the ramen guy and her dad are somehow able to understand each other easily. The one thing I do find annoying is how literally everyone simps for her and treats her like a queen. I mean, sure enough, I guess she's good looking and all, but then they give Tadano hell despite him being one of the rare few people able to understand her, and it's not like anyone else is bothering to take the time to understand her. Instead, they are busy praying to her. But the only thing that's nice about Komi is that she is kind of cute. Yeah, the art style is kind of cute and everything about it. So, though one of the worst things about Komi is that she barely develops as a character throughout the show. Sure, she does manage to gain a few friends with the help of Tadano, but her communication skills are still incredibly lacking. She only managed to improve slightly during the festival, but that's about it really. Overall, I rate her a 4 out of 10. The other main character, Tadano, he's the only one who can understand and interpret her. He gets shat on by the entire class because he's the closest to Komi. Only thing Tadano is good for is helping Komi make new friends. Other than that, he's a pretty plain character and overall not very interesting, though at least he's the most normal character compared to the rest. He deserves a 5 out of 10. Najimi is probably one of the most interesting side characters of the show. She's the energetic and excited character of the show. She's really active, cheerful, really gets the plot rolling better than Tadano and Komi could, since she is usually putting Komi in tough situations where she'll need to communicate, and Najimi is probably making the most effort to try and help with Komi's poor communication skills. Though she might be too hard on Komi, she at least quickens the plot of the show, unlike the first episode where it was pretty slow with only Tadano and Komi. One downside about her is that she confuses people on whether she's a guy or a girl. Overall, I give her 6 out of 10. As for the other side characters, the fat clumsy girl Agari Himiko, the crazy lesbian yandere Ran Yamai, the fiery sporty girl Netsuno Chika, the Chunibiu Nakanaka Omaharu, and the lazy laid-back girl Otori Katie, the country girl Inaka Nokoko, and Komi's self-proclaimed rival Yadano Makaru, all of whom are friends of Komi. Agari is too clumsy and weird. What's strange about her is that she acts like a dog and wants to be abused by Komi, so Agari gets a 1 out of 10. As for Netsuno, Nakanaka, Inaka, Otori, and Yadano, they don't get as much screen time as Ren Yamai or Agari, but Nakanaka is pretty weird and cringe. She gets a 2 out of 10. Natsuno gets a 7 out of 10. She's at least likable and she's sporty, so that's a plus, and I like a fiery personality, but overall a good side character. Yadano is too competitive and a bit stupid to think that she can compete at all with Komi. She's easily dislikable, but she sure does try hard, and she makes weird faces when she's tryharding. 0 out of 10. Now for the crazy lesbian yandere, Ren Yamai, she gets a little bit more screen time than some of the other side characters except Najmi, which is pretty understandable considering she's obsessed with Komi and always tries to be with her in most episodes after she has been introduced. I find it extremely annoying but kind of funny, especially when she does some crazy messed up things to Tadano, like kidnapping him. That episode was probably one of the funniest of the show, though she is way too obsessed with Komi, to the point where she would do anything to make sure Tadano isn't with Komi and only she's with her. It took her some time to understand Komi, which wouldn't have been possible without Tadano, but she still hates him. But it's also funny that the lesbian is the most insane and ridiculous character of the show. She's incredibly weird towards Komi, such as when she tries to make her suck on a sausage multiple times during the festival episode. Overall, she deserves a 2 out of 10, mainly because she is annoying, very dislikable, treats Komi's friends poorly, and stalks Komi too. Otori is a nice side character, she's laid back and chilled. Only downside about her is that she's incredibly slow, like a sloth. Otherwise, her slowness makes her a pretty amusing character, though it begins to get stale after a while. She gets a 5 out of 10. As for Inuka, she deserves a whole lot more screen time. I think she's the only one out of Komi's friends who only has one episode of screen time. And there's only a small part of one episode, I think. So she seems like she'll be an interesting character, so I give her 6 out of 10. Though this would have been high if she got more screen time. For every character as a whole, this deserves a 4 out of 10, really average. They could have given a few more characters a little bit more screen time, which would be nice, though with the next season being confirmed for April, I'm sure we'll get to see more of these characters again and maybe some new ones too. The animation in this anime is really good. The first scene really demonstrates this as well and looks amazing. Everything about the animation I say is positive except for one thing. The English words overlap with the Japanese words. This just looks horrible and hard to read. It shouldn't be too hard to simply make the text a little bit smaller and place it better, though I like the art style, it's kinda cute and looks nice too. Overall, animation deserves a 8 out of 10. As for the story, there isn't really much plot at all. Most of the episodes are just introducing each character, so maybe we'll get a proper story in the second season. However, so far the story is just about this antisocial girl, Komi, who's trying to make friends. While she does successfully manage to gain a few friends, there's one thing that she still fails to do, and that is improve her communication skills, so she hasn't really developed all that much. And there's not really much I can say about the story because this anime doesn't really focus on the main plot and Komi as much. It mainly focuses on the other characters. It would be nice if they focused on a lot more on her, but at this point she just seems to be a passive main character. Well, the story is pretty simple and the anime doesn't do a bad job at telling the story. It seems to have done alright in that aspect. I would just like it to focus more on Komi's development, so I give the story a 4 out of 10. How does this anime perform as a comedy? Not too well. While after the first episode it begins to get a little funnier while introducing new characters, but the humour begins to dull and get a little repetitive later on. Also, every character in the show is unbelievably exaggerated with extremely cliché personalities, but this show in particular takes those personalities and makes it very over the top. I could say this for Komi, extremely socially awkward, Ren Yamai, the insane lesbian, Agari, way too clumsy, Otori, unbelievably sluggish, Nakanaka, the cringe lord, and the over-competitive Yadano. These personality types have been way too exaggerated, and while this might be for comedy purposes, it begins to get very annoying and unrealistic. I would have preferred if these characters were a little bit more normal, but sometimes that's pretty rare. And for the worst, most unrealistic character of the show, Ren Yamai, I completely understand that this is for comedy purposes, but tone down the craziness, especially with the kidnapping. Not saying that you should get rid of it, keep it. It was one of the more funnier scenes of this show, but it's just so weird, and also with the sex jokes too about making Komi suck on a sausage. This gets really annoying, and considering this is supposed to be some sort of wholesome anime, why are there even sex jokes like these? Also, with Agari, who's just as bad as Ren Yamai, how she acts like a dog and wants to be abused by her, also incredibly weird. Not to mention, but it seems that this school is full of weirdos with exaggerated cliché personalities. I know it's for comedic purposes, obviously, but like I said before, it gets pretty annoying sometimes. Also, the joke about everyone thinking Komi is perfect and worshipping her gets really stale quickly because it's so overused in this anime. as a comedy, I rate this a 5 out of 10. The voice acting in this anime is good. I don't really focus on how good or bad the voice acting is normally, but regardless of that, I say they certainly did a good job there. The background music is pretty good too. It really fits the mood of the scene pretty well in most parts and does well for the wholesome setting of this anime. Also, I especially like the intro song, and the outro song is alright too, though I've never really paid much attention to that. Anyways, I rate this a 9 out of 10. Honestly, I might have been a little harsh on the show considering how I rated the characters, story, and comedy, but you know what? I actually really enjoy the show. It really depends if you can deal with the over-the-top characters. If you don't like the idea of unrealistic, exaggerated characters and repetitive humor, this anime might not be for you. But if you want to just chill and take a break, maybe just finish with a heavy action anime or something, then this might be a good anime for you. It's wholesome, light, a little bit funny, and pretty nice. If that's what you're into, then give this anime a shot. It's only 12 episodes long, so you can get done with it quickly and begin another anime. For overall enjoyment, I give it a 9 out of 10. Here's a few anime that are similar to Komi Can't Communicate that I recommend. First off, Watamote. Both main characters Komi and Tomoko are socially awkward, though Tomoko is completely different to Komi in every way. She isn't a perfect popular girl. Instead, Tomoko tries to become popular, though she is lacking looks and her personality isn't the greatest. Despite all that, I find her to be the most relatable anime character. There are a lot of things she's done that you might have done before, and a few cringy moments here and there, but Watamote is much better as a comedy compared to Komi-san. Plus, they both have the exact same number of episodes, though since there is only one season of Watamote, if you enjoyed the anime, you should check out the manga too. It's a lot better than anime because Tomoko actually develops as a character in the manga compared to the anime. I gave this anime a 10 out of 10. A Silent Voice, great movie. Both characters have trouble communicating and they both use a notebook to communicate with people. However, the character in A Silent Voice is deaf and not popular. Also, this anime is a lot more serious and deals with heavier topics compared to Komi-san, which is a light-hearted comedy. I also gave this anime a 10 out of 10. Saki-K, similar to Komi-san in that it has many exaggerated cliched personalities, but it performs a whole lot better as a comedy and much funnier. I gave this anime a 9 out of 10. Komi Can't Communicate is a pretty nice slice of life comedy anime. It's short, light, wholesome, cute, and something that would be good to watch after watching an anime that's a lot longer and heavier, kind of like a breather. Obviously, to get the most enjoyment out of this anime, don't take anything seriously and just try to enjoy it. Some people always try to look for negative aspects of an anime and that just lowers their opinion of it by the end. Just like when I was looking for some reviews on MyAnimeList. A lot of them were kind of negative. So just give this anime a go, and after you finish this, go with the score you feel this anime deserves. So after all that, I gave this anime an 8 out of 10. I know that's a lot higher than what I've calculated earlier, but I actually really enjoy this anime and that's just what I feel it deserves. On a side note, I am very much looking forward to the second season in April, so expect another review from that. Anyways, like and subscribe for more reviews, and for those who made it this far, thanks for watching.